I wanna play every single game. These bright lights are making my heart race. Mind's been gone, lost out in deep space. Imagine that you're there, you find your way. Imagine that you're there, top of your trade. Can't hear the doubt today. I can't hear all of your hate. Ha! Paint that picture, dance if you want to. Sing in the shower, you have the power. I move fluid, I stay grooving. Feels even better when you have to prove it. With my women, I get choosy. Getting to the point, I pick and choose it. Each new drop, I improve it. That reminds me, y'all should go cue it. Thinking that life is an arcade. I wanna play every single game. These bright lights are making my heart race. Mind's been gone, lost out in deep space. Imagine that your fears were never there. Step into the room, forget you're scared. Can't hear the
All right. Yo, welcome back, guys. Authentic Vibes Only podcast. I think it's episode 19. Well, I lost count, honestly, but we're just here having fun, so that's okay. We have Jordan with us, as always, my co-host, my homie. And today we have another special guest for you guys. We're just throwing all the guests at you guys right now. I hope you're enjoying it, but our special guest for today's episode is Peyton. And honestly, this is our first time talking, but that's okay. This is going to be a great podcast. I'm very transparent with you guys. So me, Peyton, and Jordan are just now getting on like our first very serious conversation. Jordan's just getting involved, but I know it's going to be amazing. And we'll let Peyton introduce herself, let her tell you what she does, and then we can explain partly why we wanted to bring her on, and then we'll go more into a couple questions we have for Peyton.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm Peyton and I am a health and fitness coach. So I do online coaching. I work with clients online, nutrition, training, lifestyle habits, stuff like that. And I primarily help women lose weight and just feel confident in their bodies, get their energy back, and really take control of their health. So yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I think what's amazing about what Peyton does is she's more into like not just fitness, and we talk a lot about that. We had Donaso on here for fitness, and he spoke a little bit about like mind, body, soul kind of being connected, but he said he wasn't keen on that. So I wanted to continue on with the second nutrition one with Peyton, because that's something she's more keen on. I really like that she's mindful and it's not all just about exercise. It's just a whole body experience. So that's really cool. So let's next get into like your personal journey and how you first got started like working out. Let's hear it. Let's hear that.
Alrighty. So, well, really, I mean, I've been an athlete all of my life. So when sports ended in high school, I honestly never really stopped moving. Movement has always been a very crucial part of my life. And I think even in high school, like in off seasons and whatnot, I wasn't the type to just like go home after school and sit around and do whatever. I'd go to the gym with a friend. Granted, we probably had no idea what we were doing in the weight room, but at least we were trying. I'd go on runs with another friend. We'd run like 5 miles after our volleyball season. And so when I got to college, it's always been in the front of my mind to like continue that. And I was very lucky that I had a brother in college that essentially showed me around the weight room when I was a freshman. And I think the biggest thing that I wanted to focus on in that time, I grew up very skinny and I got made fun of for being skinny. So because of that, I had obviously like low self-esteem issues, didn't like my body. I felt like I was built like a 12-year-old boy, just like, so that always got to me. And so I was like, okay, I can get in the weight room and like reshape my body. So that was always the goal. Like I said, I got really lucky that my brother like showed me around. And so really ever since my freshman year, I just started doing like more and more research on things that I could do for myself specifically. Because like I said, I really wanted to change my body, you know, get a booty, all those things, build my legs up. They were tiny. So, you know, that's when I really started to dive into the nutrition part of it as well. So training and nutrition, I just kind of kept going with it. And I ended up changing my major to exercise science because I liked it so much. And then I was like, well, I should probably like practically apply these things that I'm learning. So I became a personal trainer, and then of course started helping others. So yeah, I started doing that, and essentially like went on to get my master's degree in exercise physiology. And then of course, you know, now I'm an online coach. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just that it stemmed from, again, like my own self-esteem issues with my body, and of course just that natural tendency to want to continue movement. So I kind of got lucky in that sense that I had that desire already within me.
Okay. Jordan, you got any comments? Because I got a question, or like, I guess, sorry, not a question, but kind of continue. It is a question, but I'll continue on like what she said.
Yeah, well, I mean, I might be jumping the gun here a little bit, but what I really liked about the things that you post about is in your kind of workout plans for the women, you tell them, or there was one of the posts you had somewhat recently where you talked about how we're not trying to make you, you know, be on such a super strict diet or, you know, work out 25 hours a day type of thing, but more be realistic and like, well, we can put together a type of meal plan that will fit for you, but still help you lose like say 5 to 15 pounds in that time period over summer, and just making those goals realistic to the people you work with instead of it being like, oh, we have to, you know, go crazy in the gym, which might not be viable for most people that are, you know, working and they might have children, things like that. I just thought it was really cool. And I just had a question of like, I guess going into it, was that how you always approached it, or was that kind of something that you found out like through your own journey, or kind of how did you come to the conclusion of like, well, hey, you don't actually have to kill yourself like with strict diet or being in the gym 24/7 to actually lose weight and get the type of body that you want?
Yeah, great question. So no, I have not always been that way. I was the type that I would do 8 to 10 exercises in one workout. In college, I spent like 2+ hours in the gym and was, yeah, very regimented with my diet. And the thing, so I told you my biggest goal was always to like build muscle. I wanted to get bigger because I was, again, like that skinny girl. So I was like, okay, we gotta build. And it always just felt really hard for me to do that. And again, I would work about 6 to 7 days a week, like I said, doing a bunch of exercises. And it wasn't until I got to graduate school that things changed because I had way less time. So I was obviously in school full time. I was working 30+ hours a week, and there was just absolutely no way that I was going to be able to work out the same. So my workouts went down to 3 to 4 days a week. And again, I just did a lot less exercises. But I also decided to, at that time, focus on like my technique and really honing in on my skills with my movements, since I did lack that time. And it was crazy because, yes, even though I was working out only like 3 to 4 days a week, I saw massive improvements in my muscle mass. So that's the structure that I have been leaning on. And again, like doing more research and learning more and more as things come out that we don't have to do that. We don't have to work out even 5 days. You know, we can get away with the 3 to 4 days. And I think that's way more realistic for the majority of people. As we get older, we have a lot more responsibilities. So we don't want to be in the gym for more than an hour. And the cool thing is we don't have to. You know, you can get your results efficiently. And that's one thing I like to do with my clients is kind of doing things the most efficient way. So essentially like the minimum effective dose, like that's what I try to give them. So let's do as least as possible, because why do more when you don't need to, if you can get the same results, you know?
Yeah, I think it's really cool how yeah, I pay attention to the same thing when you post how you talk a lot about like fitting working out into your schedule rather than working out like around or scheduling your making your
Your
schedule based
life.
around your workout. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So actually being able to sorry. Actually being able to focus and just actually enjoy time for yourself and go out and realize that you don't have to kill yourself in the gym. And there's a lot more things that are important as well, movement wise, just like going for a walk, even if, you know, not hitting the gym, maybe you just go for a walk and just get moving in general helps out a lot. I think it's kind of changed a lot too with training and people realizing how important that is, not just for your body, but for your mind. And that's also something that I really like I said, how you talk about it, like keeping peace with your mind, body, and soul rather than just physically. How do you think when you first started doing personal training compared to now? I know it hasn't been super long, but like, do you think there's been like a big change in not only how you go about it, but how like the training world goes about treating mental health and kind of playing that into a factor in instilling that in people and helping them learn like self-confidence and getting better mentally throughout working out or just speaking to themselves, whatever.
Yeah. So I think in general, especially as we age, at least the definition of health changes. So it does become less about just training and nutrition, and it becomes more about, again, like making sure your mindset is in a good place and your mental state is doing well. And again, we have all of these different aspects of health, you know, spirituality, financial, like so many different things. And I guess to speak to your question, it's definitely changed for me because I know that I used to focus solely on the nutrition and the training specifically to get results. But now, again, we focus more on the mindset, the habits, the like, are we taking care of ourselves and our spirit? And are we aligning our actions with our values and our beliefs? Because that's a really important thing when you do that. Because if you have a misalignment, that's what can cause a lot of like inner turmoil. And if you have that going on, but you're trying to reach this like physique goal, you're not really gonna get there because like there's all these other things going on. So you have to have everything kind of playing together. So yeah, I think it's changed, and I think a lot of people are realizing that. So I think it's getting better where people are pushing like the mental health and making sure that their clients are, again, doing okay mentally and putting priority into that. But I will say, of course, there's still people out there who aren't doing that. You know, you have your good trainers and you have your bad trainers. So that's just, it's always going to be that way.
Right. I just I don't know. I just specifically keen on that. I just really like, I don't train with you. Like I'm not one of your clients. So I just think it's amazing just being as an onlooker that I have the opportunity to just see how you do treat your clients and stuff like that. And it is a lot different. Which it's a different in a good way. And it's what the brand's about, is being yourself. So I think you have your own little just your own little way of doing stuff, and I enjoy it. I think it is a lot different, but it's a lot more just better for people in general.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And if you have any, or have you, because I feel like I've seen you talk about this, but maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about it. If you do, go ahead. If not, that's cool. Maybe your personal experiences with dealing with maybe like stress or anxiety, and how that going to the gym may help you, but also like taking the needed time off, and how rest is still really important for your body in both ways. If maybe just for recovery, but also if you are having kind of some health issues with like anxiety and depression and stuff, how rest still helps, and also how going to the gym still helps, like both ways.
Yeah, definitely. So that is, there's like a couple ways to look at that, I think. So rest is one, just like super important for your body, and you kind of need that in order to see progression and to see results. Um, and of course, like with your mental state. But I also think, outside of working out and like the nutrition and all of that, you need a different type of rest for like your mental state. So I guess I'm trying to think how to word it. What was it? You basically asked like how rest is important for like stress and anxiety as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I kind of look at those as like two different things, like the rest and recovery for like your workouts, and they do play hand in hand. But like when we are super stressed and we have, again, like all this anxiety happening, we have to find ways to mitigate that. But there's so many different things that you can do as far as like rest is concerned. I think that we are a culture that is very prevalent, like grind, like you just got to keep going, like do the stuff, but that leads to burnout. And I think that also leads to like a cloudy state. And when you're in that, when you don't have clarity because everything is so clouded, again, you start to veer from, again, like the values and the beliefs that you have, and it causes, again, like all of these like internal issues. So I think you have to focus on like what is it that like I need, me personally, to feel rested, because I think that looks different for people as well. So like what can you do to bring your energy back to you? So it could be, for some people it is just like sitting on the couch and like binging on Netflix and like calling it a day. For others, it might be going out with like people that, give them energy, people they're really close to and having really deep, meaningful conversations, or maybe it's going out dancing, or maybe that's organizing your day. So I know for me, in order to alleviate a lot of like stress and anxiety, I have to make sure I have things like organized out. If I don't, then I get that sense of overwhelm because everything is like up in my head. But then once I get out on paper, like everything kind of like simmers down. I can see it. It's like a perspective shift. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. So I do think that there's a lot of different ways that you can look at that. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I like that better than the way I worded it. So I like how you answered, because we talk a lot about perspective on here. So that perspective was just a good take there. Because I was definitely not looking at it like that. I feel like even physically, when I think of rest, I literally, I just think about, I don't know. I feel like for me, a lot of it always comes like at the same time. Like physically, I usually get symptoms like it's just like burnout. Like you said, I like am stressed and have anxiety a lot, but my body feels that really bad when I'm stressed. Like physically, I feel those symptoms a lot worse, I feel like, than I ever thought I would. But like, that's just how that has came for me. So I just think about like laying down and just taking that type of rest and recovery. Not even if it's whatever I'm watching, whatever, just like laying in bed.
But sometimes that's what you need, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
That might be the thing that just kind of helps. I think the other thing that's important is like having intention behind it. So like intentional rest, so just, again, doing stuff that's going to give you your energy back, whatever that might be, or like not doing the things that, you might be resting, but is that actually moving you forward, or is it going to just make you feel worse the next day? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, maybe. Do you mean like, I feel like when I think of that, it's just like, yeah, like resting and actually getting your mind and removing your mind from somewhere. And like rest is not just like, yeah, physically, I don't think it's just physical. It's like when if you do have a lot going on in your mind, you're not like resting and then taking that day and just beating yourself up about resting. You actually like get your mind in somewhere, or be like, get out of your mind, I guess, be in the moment and enjoy what you're doing, whatever it is. And yeah, like you said, draw that energy back in and actually be where you are at that moment and doing exactly what you're doing and paying attention and like getting other senses involved, feel, touch, all that stuff. And just really enjoying what you're doing at that moment and just do something you enjoy. Like you said, whatever it may be. Read a book, go for a walk, lay down, watch Netflix. I don't know, lay out in the hammock. I don't know, just get some sunshine is a good one. I would like to say, just lay out in the sun, let the sun help recover as well. But
Yeah, no, very well said. I think you made a good point though too, as far as saying that, you know, not essentially not feeling guilty for like taking that rest. Like, don't beat yourself up about it. So if you're gonna take that rest, like take that rest, you know, and embrace it because you need it.
yeah, I've actually been saying Jordan, because he's been in the pool the last couple episodes, except last week he's been out there. And I'm like, are you gonna come?
Podcast.
Yeah, are you gonna be inside? Are you gonna come inside sometime? What's going on here? I've kind of been on his ass, but like, you know, that's like, I also feel bad because I know how busy he is, and I know he makes time for this, you know, and that's awesome. But it's like, okay, I guess, you know, let's give the guy 2-1. He wants to be outside. You know, I don't really care what he's doing. It's just the Wi-Fi sometimes laggy. So that's what I've been getting him shit about when he's out there. But besides that, I don't really care.
I got the hotspot on today. Got the hotspot on today.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is I got that's facts. It's good. I don't want to be an ass for you being out in the pool, you know? Like, that's awesome. Actually, I'm gonna
enjoy it. Does it like get you in like your zen for these podcasts when you're in there?
Yeah, I mean, okay, well also I hit legs today, so my legs are dying. So if I was sitting down in a chair, I would be squirming all over the place. But anyway, in general, yeah, no, it's really relaxing because then I just get to be outside for, you know, like an hour in the day, but also get to talk with my man Braeden over here, give him some shit throughout the podcast. And if it's just us talking, we talk, or we have guests on like yourself, get to hear about your story and things like that. So it's fun. I enjoy it. It's always a great time, and you know, always just gotta put those positive vibes out there, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
So you do you. I always like record my voice memos to my clients, or like if I'm voice memoing anybody, I'll go outside and just walk around, even if it's just for a couple minutes. Like, I get in the sun, get some steps in, although it's really hot these days, but
Oh yeah.
you know, you get both in. It's great.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
feel that. Cause I've been doing that too. I've been walking on the treadmill and reading because I haven't been found time to read. So that's been my 2-in-1 thing for the day. Or yeah, after workouts at the end, walk on the treadmill and read a couple pages in the book.
There you go.
Oh, there was something. I lost it.
It's okay, Braeden. You got it, bro.
This isn't it. I'll find it'll come back. But take us through a day in the life of Peyton of like steps, maybe to keep like, I don't know. This is just to go on a day in the life. Like, what do you do throughout the day to help you stay on track, keep your inner peace, also move your body, work out, and then like find times to make meals, or maybe you have a day of the week you meal prep. Yeah, talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Definitely meal prep over the weekend, usually on Sundays, of course. So that, I encourage most people to do that because you really do save so much time during the week. And if you are someone who's really busy, whether it's kids, jobs, whatever responsibilities you have, it's just so easy to go in your fridge and warm stuff up that's already made. So yes, I do that. And then for me, I have like a morning routine. So that's the thing that I do first thing, which right now it changes over the course of time, just depending on where I'm at in life. And so I'm in like a really busy season of life. So my morning routine is a little bit more shortened than usual. So like I wake up, I'll meditate and do breathing exercises, and then I will go make some matcha and probably write for like 10 to 15 minutes and kind of schedule out my day. And then I get right into my work day. So
wait, what do you write about? You just write about your schedule, or are you like meditating? Are you writing like affirmations? What's going on there?
you know, it depends on the day. So I'll do affirmations, I'll do like gratitude. Sometimes I'll like ask myself some sort of like prompting question, you know, to kind of do a little bit more inner work. That's if I have a little bit more time. I don't like to rush that stuff. But yeah, I'll either do like one of those things and then I'll plan out my day. Sometimes if I wake up late, then I might not write at all and I'll just plan out my day. So that happens as well. But big fan of like the gratitude and the affirmations. I think those are really helpful to just get yourself in the right mindset and the right headspace for the day. I just think the morning sets the tone for your day, and so that's why I'm a big fan of morning routines as well. And when you can kind of give into yourself first thing, then you're able to kind of go off for the rest of your day and do what you need to and get your essentially responsibilities done without feeling like, you know, you haven't given into yourself. So big fan of that. And then, yeah, I work up until like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'll go to the gym. So that's usually the last thing I do. And then I'll come home, do a little bit more work, and then go to bed. And I also kind of have a nighttime routine. So very simple though. I just like do my skincare and read, and that's it.
I don't want to make fun of this, but that sounds two things. Mornings, I agree, best. I'm trying to get back on a morning routine. When I work out in the morning and do all that stuff, because I do affirmations after every workout, I write them in my like workout journal. But when I was doing that stuff in the morning, it really does set the tone for the day. It feels way better like having a whole routine in the morning and then going and doing the rest of your day. Even if when I have like regular work after, it's just like, I don't know, I'm just in a real good mood. And two, I don't want to make fun of it, but I want to hear a little bit more about at the end of your night when you tape your mouth shut to sleep. Cause that was actually like one of the most interesting things I've ever heard. I don't know. That was like what, like, I don't know. I was like tempted to really try it that night.
You should. I'll send you some tape and you can try it.
What kind of tape? Yeah. What kind of tape do you use?
So it's called 3M micropore tape. That's
Okay.
just the name of the tape, but it's really cheap. You take like a really small piece. I don't know if you can see it, but like an inch, less than an inch, and you just put it like right in the middle, and it's like good on your skin. But yeah, most people are really freaked out by the fact that I do that whenever I talk about it. Jordan, did you see that I posted about that?
Jordan, you here?
I'm here. I'm just, having some issues.
Okay.
Oh no, okay. I'll continue forward. So yeah, I tape my mouth shut when I sleep for essentially health purposes. And what happens is, so I'm a huge fan of breathing in general, which again I know also probably sounds funny to people because they're like everyone breathes, but the quality of how you breathe is really, really important on your health. And if you think about it, this is one of like my favorite quotes. It's that you can go days without food, or no, weeks without food, days without water, but you can only go a few minutes without your breath. So I just think that's a big testament to how important that actually is. So the quality of how we are breathing and like the mechanics of it, should be, we should be mindful of it. So essentially, when we sleep, we don't know whether we are breathing out of our nose or our mouth. And most people are mouth breathers when they sleep. And this matters because we should be breathing out of our nose like 99% of the time. That's literally like what our nose is for. One, it filters out. Oh, there goes.
We lost Jordan.
It's pool time.
Yeah, he said, screw it, I'm actually just gonna swim.
No, my gosh, that's hilarious. It's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh.
Oh, maybe. Do I wait for him?
Nah, it's all right. He'll be back, right? I know he'll be back.
Coming. Did you say something?
Jordan, you good?
All right.
No,
Oh,
he's good.
oh, there he is. Okay, so
Okay, all right.
I think you're back.
You're missing the good stuff. This is
Yeah,
really
you are. You're missing the
I
good.
know, like I keep hearing about you taping your mouth shut when you sleep, and then I go away and I come back, and all I hear Braeden go is, "Wait, what the heck? How do you do that?" And then I go away and I come back.
Okay, so yes, I will continue.
Yeah.
Yes, we are supposed to breathe out of our nose, and when you do that, your nose filters the air up from like toxins. It also humidifies the air, so it is essentially creating like safe air to come into our body. If we breathe out of our mouth, we don't have that, so all the toxins and bacteria and stuff comes in. There's no filter. So that's one thing. Another thing is that when you breathe out of your mouth, you typically stimulate chest breathing, which also stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response. So if you're aware, like fight or flight is kind of like your
Too much adrenaline.
Yes, yeah, correct. So that is not a place we want to live in. We already live in that like during the day because of life stressors, right? We don't want to also live in that when we are sleeping, because then you're just living in a high stress state 24/7. And stress leads to inflammation, which leads to disease and can lead to all these chronic issues. So if we force ourselves to breathe out of our nose, when you do that, you also stimulate your diaphragm, which is your breathing muscle. So obviously we want to use that. And it stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest state, or like the relaxation state. So we put ourselves back into, again, just like relaxing, calm, no stress, no cortisol. We're not increasing, inflammation. That's where we want to be majority of the time. So if you tape your mouth shut, like I said, it basically just ensures that you are breathing through your nose and that you are activating parasympathetic system like you're supposed to and keeping yourself healthier in general.
I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I need some tape. I want to try it.
Yes, I'm gonna send you some tape. And then I want some feedback. My brother and his fiance do it, and they love it. They said it, like, again, it helps so much. It improves your sleep quality a ton. You don't get morning breath.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because if you're breathing out of your mouth, that's how you get morning breath. It's all
Well, it's
dry
like
and, nasty.
Isn't it still like just a tad open? Like, I don't know, just this corner.
I mean, maybe, but not enough.
Okay.
Not like when your mouth is wide open.
No morning breath. Is that the best thing about it? No, definitely not. Oh.
For sure. Your partner will thank you.
Yeah, facts. Oh. That's crazy. I like to, what do you think about like just being more mindful about breath in general just throughout your day? Like, how do you do that? Like, you're not taping your mouth shut throughout the day. So like, what should I do to like just be more mindful through it without like working out? I'm kind of mindful of it. Honestly, I try to be, but besides that, throughout the day, I don't really pay attention.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it is difficult. Like, you have to really make a conscious effort to do that. And I know for me, starting off, like, I just started with the morning thing and just doing breathing exercises in the morning. That was like 10 minutes a day where I did make that conscious effort. And then just slowly throughout your day, like, you could put alarms in your phone, which, could help some people. I will admit I did not do that, but I just know as someone who has dealt with a lot of like stress and anxiety that it helps. And so when those feelings come up, I just go straight to like hand on chest, hand on heart, and like slowing down my breathing. But it did take just time, I guess, to consciously make that choice.
Okay. Jordan, any thoughts on this?
It is very fascinating, I will say. I know for like at least myself, I definitely need to do a much better job like during the day of being like, okay, I need to take a breath here and like lower my heart rate, things like that sometimes. But what I will say, which is I actually really like that you brought this up, is either in the morning or in the afternoon of taking time to just breathe like by yourself and kind of meditate however you want to meditate. There's all these different type of ways to do so, but kind of just like getting into that state of like, hey, this is me time, and like just clearing your mind and having that relaxation. I think, how do I want to say, I feel like not that many people necessarily think about doing meditation because they think it's like, oh, it's maybe like a yoga type of thing, or I don't know, like it's not something that they would think is their cup of tea. But like Braden and I have talked about this before, it's not like you have to do it for like 30 minutes or so. Even if you do it for say 5 or 10 minutes, it's still beneficial, and still better for you overall than if you didn't do it at all.
Yes, 100%. And something that I started with too was because I had a hard time with like just meditating and like sitting there doing nothing. I think the breathing exercises, like since you're focusing on those, helps. So it's still a form of meditation and you're working on your breathing. So that's always like a good way to kind of introduce yourself to it. And like you said, just doing like 5 to 10 minutes in the morning.
Yeah, I think this is cool. We've touched on this for sure because we talk about meditating a lot, Jordan, how we do it. I like to do it at night because I just like wind down like that. Everyone's different. There's no right or wrong when it comes to that. That's what's cool about meditating is also what Jordan said, like it just doing a little bit of breath work, and what Peyton's talking about, like it doesn't have to be nothing crazy or for a very long time, just like 5 minutes real quick. Really just get back in the moment and get back in your body. And yeah, it doesn't have to be like stretching out or if you don't like yoga, I don't know, don't like listen to some crazy stuff, whatever, just like sitting there in silence and breathing and focus on your breath that's all it takes. Some people do it or do different things, like some people's, honestly, for me, like even a form of meditation is just like going out at night and driving around with like music off, windows down, or even with just music on, and just kind of really enjoying what I'm doing and unwinding, because that's really, I feel like, what meditation is, besides just like really, you could use it for like visualization and stuff like that and manifesting, but like unwinding is kind of a lot what it is too, just like really relaxing and getting in a different state. So there's many ways to go about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's funny you said that the minute you started to say, like, I don't know how you worded it, but talking about different forms of meditation, driving in the car was the first thing that came to my head because I find that to be so meditative. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it. It feels right. I don't know.
Yep.
Especially after like a long day, it just like feels right.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy how like once you actually force yourself to stop like doing all your daily activities, how much stress and anxiety that you might not have even noticed was there, you feel it like leaving your body. You're like, holy crap, like maybe I should like take time to stop and breathe, or just relax for the day more often.
Yeah, for real. Something cool or scary, I guess, about why I was like real interested in the stuff you're talking about with breath work is as of recently, Jordan knows I talked about it on the podcast because I'm, like I said, we're transparent about our journeys and stress, anxiety, whatever we have to talk about, we'll talk about it. So I was going through a lot of health issues, probably like within the last like 8 months, from like October, I don't know if that's 8 months, but October till now. Yeah, so it's more than 8 months, but I don't know. But besides that, the health issues, so I've been having like this back injury that can't get figured out, blah blah blah. That was just like the beginning, and then I started having the worst anxiety I ever had, and I've always had it, but it just got really bad where I finally, like, I was having panic attacks and stuff. I didn't know how to deal with it because they were like such bad panic attacks. Like, I literally would have to go to the hospital for, because like my whole body was like compulsing and my heart rate was elevated to like 180, and it was just crazy. But I what scared me is I was trying to do breath work to get out of those, and it was cool how you said, like, even if, like, I feel like now, like, thinking about it more and noticing that I was breathing, but I was breathing into my chest. So like I was still and I was like slowing and trying to focus on my breath, but it's still in my chest. So it wasn't calming that part of my nervous system, and I was still in fight or flight mode. And I was like, doctors would tell me just like slow down and breathe, and I would, but like it wouldn't help. And now like it makes a lot more sense, because I have been a lot more mindful about it, especially since you put that up. That's why I was asking how to be more mindful of it, because I'm trying, but it's still hard. Of like not breathing in my chest as much, and then I like it all kind of started clicking up, especially with like the attacks and stuff, and like why, even though I was focused on my breath and I was like trying to be calm, like it wasn't working and all that stuff. So that was just really cool.
I actually have a very, very similar story, and the reason I got into the whole breathing thing is because I dealt with a lot of panic attacks from anxiety. And I didn't even realize like what was happening. It started in high school, and I thought that I just had asthma. And then as I got older, I was like, no, these are just panic attacks. Like I'm hyperventilating, and again, like just breathing through my chest. And I got to a point where it was like I struggled to breathe throughout the entire day because it was just so bad. And like I would have to I would like try to gasp for air. Like I don't know, like I was trying to get going to get air. I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird to explain, but essentially like I was constantly just trying to like get air into my system throughout the entire day. This happened for years, and I was like, this is not normal. So that's when I started to work on my breathing, and I was like, wow, like a lot of how I breathe, yes, is like in my chest. Like I'm just solely breathing through my chest. So I had to really relearn my breathing mechanics. And what I did, Braeden, was just like, I started just laying on the floor. So again, I would always do it in the morning just because that was like the best time for me to do it. But hand on chest, hand on heart. Sometimes what really helps is putting your hands on your ribs as well, because that, again, it's like an external cue. So you breathe into your hands, and it gives you that like 360 sort of like air, like you're getting air, in a 360 dimension in your abdomen, in your lungs. So it gives you your breath. And I just practiced that again for like 10 minutes, like every day. And again, I think from just doing that in the morning, I was slowly like building the consciousness to be aware of it during the day as well, But yeah, the panic attacks, they're not fun.
No, they're
It's not fun.
It's actually suck because we talk about like on here being like very confident in yourself and just being true to self and being yourself and not caring what other people think about you, as long as you're not being like a shitty person and being crappy to other people and stuff like that. But like a lot of the time after I started talking about this, it actually was unfortunate, but like I just got made fun of about a lot of it. Like it can't be that bad and this and that, it's like, it's actually very, very scary. I'd never been, even having anxiety like my whole life and depression, like I never had a full-on body attack. Like it's just always like a mental thing. I wasn't ever seeing the physical aspects of it. And like when it gets like that, like I don't know, like it's something that's very scary and needs to be taken like a lot more serious, I believe. So it's just it's just a shitty thing that it's not looked at even by like the doctors and stuff. When I was going in there, they didn't take it serious and stuff. So just something that needs to be more mindful in society, I believe.
Yeah. Has it gotten better for you?
Yeah, I started changing my practice a lot. Of like I always like was meditating at night, but there's just a lot going on in life besides that was causing a lot of stress factors, and then like my health wise, and not being in the gym and kind of like learning about getting on like different anxiety meds and stuff like that were helping and not helping, stuff like a lot of stuff was going on. But I actually didn't have to start medicine. I started one and not the other, which was nice. Like they basically gave me hydroxyzine, which is one that calms you down when you're going into those attacks. But I was like, I'd rather find a more mindful way to do it. So then I just started changing my practice, like more breathing, more conscious of that. Finding out like what I am stressed out about, like, and realizing like what plays into that. Um, and then kind of, I feel like I said, I feel physically a lot. So like I started doing like a lot more stretching and moving and mindful of different movements besides just working out. That seems to help a lot is when I'm like, it is like yoga. Like I guess that is, I could say like one of my practices, even though a lot of people don't enjoy it, but like when I'm stretching out, and it's not really just yoga, just like stretching and moving your bodies in different way, kind of like a recovery process. I don't know. Helps me. And then, yeah, I don't know, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I think we have similar like stories or have been on similar wavelengths because I dealt with like the same stuff over the course of this past year, specifically in 2021, where like my anxiety was so bad. I had a back injury that kept me out of the gym. It was just like everything just like compounded. And I was in the worst state of depression that I had ever been in. And that's actually like why I came home back to Sterling in the first place. Cause I was like, I need the support of my family. I need to figure out what's going on. Like things are not okay. So I definitely feel you, but through that, I've also learned like how much the mental and the physical like play into each other. Because when I was really, really depressed, my injuries were 10 times worse. I couldn't work out. Like I would do a couple of exercises in my workout and that's all I could do. I was just like dead. Like I thought I was going to vomit. I would get nauseous. Like it was bizarre because I'd never experienced that. But then when I started really healing myself in like 2022, the past 6 months, everything has changed. All my physical symptoms have went away. My back injuries are like the most healed they've ever been. And so it was just really, really crazy to see like, again, how those two things play hand in hand. Cause I really think they do.
No, I agree. Jordan, I don't know. Are you good? You still there? I don't want to
I'm
think we
good.
lost
I'm
you.
good. No, I have a little spin of a question for both you guys because I mean I do this myself and I admit I really need to stop doing this. But kind of what are your guys' advice for people like myself included who don't always take the time to realize like, oh, I have all this stress or anxiety at the time, but they're just kind of chugging through and just keep on moving, keep on going, even if like the stress and stuff is just getting heavier and heavier, and not actually taking the time to one, acknowledge it, and then two, actually kind of like go through a detox of it all, by doing like the breathing or journaling, things like that. So I
Peyton,
feel like that's a big thing.
Peyton, you go first.
Okay. So I honestly kind of feel like you answered it in a sense because I think one of the best things that you can do is actually sit with yourself and ask yourself the hard questions. Until you do that, you have no idea what's causing the stress, what's causing the anxiety, and you can't work through it until you have that awareness. So you have to bring awareness to yourself on what's going on, but you can only do that when you sit down and ask yourself those questions. And it's not always fun, but that's the way that you work through it, in my opinion.
I agree.
For sure.
I think personally that's kind of how it was for me. Is why it got so bad was I already had stress, anxiety, depression, but then like because I've always had to deal with that, but then like it just kept getting worse and I wasn't realizing the things that were stressing me out. So then I finally just kind of hit a breaking point physically, mentally, spiritually. Everything was just super unaligned. I was having physical pain and aches and even more with my back. Like the more stress I hold, all my stress in like my upper body physically, like up in my shoulders and my back. So that was just making the back injury worse. And then I was working out still on top of it, but like she said, I couldn't get through workouts. I would take a month off and come back and then the first 2 days in, it was still not better because I was still dealing with everything else. The stress still was there. I just took time off from the gym. That's the only thing I took time off from, not realizing what else was stressing me out and what else I needed to deal with. So yeah, like kind of it's just like a full reset, reset. And it's like an awakening, I guess. I would say not just like a spiritual awakening, but just an awakening in general to really figure out your mind, body and soul, like align that stuff all back up, because you will literally just like hit a breaking point. Your body is like the last part to go, because that's finally physically it telling you that it can't take anymore. So then it's your last trigger and warning to figure it out.
Yeah, Braeden brought up a really good point. Like when you have like that misalignment, I think that is what like one of the root causes of what puts people into those places. And so to go back to figuring out like what your core values are and like what your core beliefs are, and seeing where it is in your life that you're missing the boat, or like where that misalignment is really helpful. I know that's what really helped me in the beginning, kind of like work through all my stuff, was again like realigning and figuring out how to sustain that alignment as well.
Did we answer the question, Jordan?
Well, of course you did. I mean, hey, I gotta throw you guys a curveball, you know?
No, I'm glad you asked us that.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're coming to the end here. I did have something. I don't know. This sucks. I lose all the time. I know I had something really good to ask, but unfortunately it never came back to me. I don't know. But
you win some, you lose some.
What was that?
I said you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I lost this one. But we're gonna go into our final segment, which is the quote of the day we do every week. Jordan, I know you always have one, but it's okay if you don't have one today. I got something new that I wanna introduce. So if you got one, I want to hear it first. We'll give our takes and then we'll go from there.
I mean, I can pull one out of my brain if you want.
Pull one. And
pull one?
If you don't want to pull one, we can go with Peyton's quote that I picked up on, or may she has another quote she wants to give for the day. Do you want?
I'm trying to think. Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm trying to think of one I haven't said before.
You be saying them a lot, so.
I know. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I said this or not, but it's a good quote. It's actually one that I really take into heart every single day. But it's a thing of, I don't lose. I either win or I learn. Because you're only ever gonna learn through failure. So you always have to put that positive spin on it. Well, listen, if I'm not failing at something, that means I'm not trying and I'm just living a mediocre life.
I like it.
Yeah,
100%
like
true.
100% true. Fail. I said this one time before, but fail just stands for first attempt in learning. That's what failing is. That's it.
Yep.
It's not actually failing. You learn and you use that as a lesson. So.
Yeah, you can't fail if you keep trying.
Exactly.
That's true.
You'll get there.
Peyton, do you have another quote, or you want me to bring back the quote you said?
I do have one. This is my favorite quote that I share with the majority of people, which is, so let me see if I can get it. You are not your body or your hairstyle, but your capacity to choose well. If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be.
That's a damn good quote.
Right? Epictetus. Stoicism.
That sounds like a lot like the quote you said last week, Jordan, but in different words, like about happiness is like living life or whatever, not like money or whatever. What was that?
I'm trying to think of last week's.
It was with Mr. Brown.
Is it with Mr. Brown? What did I say? Oh, wait. What was it? Was it the tombstone one where I talked about you have that first date when you're born, that last date when you pass away, and then in the middle is how you write your story and how you'll be known and the impact you want to make on the world.
Not that one. That's just good though.
Oh, what was it?
It was the one like,
I'm trying to think.
man, I can't believe I can't remember this. This wasn't even that long ago. But it was very similar, like just living your life and yeah, dude, I don't know. But I don't know, that quote that Peyton said just really remind me of it. But that, I think life is just meant to be lived in making choices for yourself and enjoying the things you do and loving the things you do, living life and being confident in that. So I think that kind of goes with the quote, but
Yeah. Sure does. What was the other one? Well, what did I say earlier?
you said that it had kind of a lot to do with the breathing, and it was just a cool, like, you can go days without food, hours without water, and minutes without breathing, only minutes without breathing. So like that's just a cool quote on what we were talking about with working on being more mindful of your breath and doing breath work and using it as meditation. I feel like that's, if you're not comfortable in meditation, that's probably the most comfortable way you can begin, like you said, an easy way you can begin. So yeah, I don't know, that's, it's just another perspective thing. Like, damn, like breath is really that important, and you don't think about it at all because it's a subconscious thing your body does for you. Like, if you just breathe subconsciously.
Exactly. One thing to note too, just like real quick, is that so oxygen is literally like fuel for our cells. Like that's how our cells function. It's food essentially. So just like another way to look at it, like, you know, obviously we know when we put bad foods in our body, like we don't function. So the same thing goes for like if we're not giving our cells the oxygen and like the quality of oxygen that it needs, you know, it's not going to function as well.
Yeah. What?
It's food.
You got gold on here. You got a lot of insight, honestly.
We need a part 2, 3, 4, and 5 just to pick your brain with
Yeah,
all your
that's already,
knowledge.
yeah, we already gotta say your book, sorry. You're gonna be back.
Heck yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah, you'll be back. It's already guaranteed. You'll be back.
Mama made it.
Maybe this next one you could be in person. We don't have too many local people on. I mean, Jordan, we've been trying to do an in-person one, and Jordan's not local. That's why, like, he's local enough, but he's like 2 hours from us.
I
But
just need an advance notice, and I will be there.
yeah,
Where are you at?
Good old Piatone.
Hope you said that. That's right.
I'll buy
Do you know where
Chicago.
like Frankfurt's at?
No.
No. Do you know like Orland and Tinley?
Yes.
I'm like 20 minutes south of there.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah, so in-person ones
Yeah,
could
you're
be
gonna
in the
have to make a
works.
trip. Sure.
Or we can join you in the pool.
That's true. You could.
That's true.
It's heated. It's
I
nice
would
and
be out of
cozy.
here. We're cool.
Oh,
Any excuse to go to Sterling Rock Falls is a good.
yeah, it really is. I agree. You miss Vegas?
I do a lot. Yeah. I miss the weather for a very long time when it was rainy and cold here for so long.
Literally.
I miss the mountains. Yeah.
You gonna go back?
I don't think so. I would like to go back out west for sure. That's my game plan, but I don't think Las Vegas. I kind of think I did my time there and I'd like to explore somewhere else. Maybe somewhere a little more green, less beige.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
All right. Last thing, since a little
Hey,
tangent
last
off
thing,
quote of the
Braeden.
day, but it's okay. I was saying this before we started recording, but my dad found this. He was going through some old stuff from when he was in high school and stuff. It's a little book called 24 Hours a Day, and it has a thought of the day, a meditation for the day, and a prayer for the day. And I said to them that it's cool about the prayer that it's more of like affirmation more than just like a prayer from the Bible or something like that. So I like that it's more like affirmation style. But we'll probably start adding this in every day because it's a whole year. and today, June 21st, I'll be pulling that. So the thought of the day is intelligent faith in that power greater than ourselves can be counted on to stabilize our emotions. It has an incomparable capacity to help us look at life in balanced perspective. We look up, around, and away from ourselves, and we see that 9 out of 10 things which at the moment upset us will shortly disappear. Problems solve themselves. Criticism and unkindness vanish as though they had never been. Have I got the proper perspective towards life? That's I don't know, that's random, but really cool how it ended with like the question there, if they had the right perspective of life.
Really good question.
I think so. I think that's it kind of goes with what the brand's about, which is cool. And it's just when we look up and where it says we look up, around, and away from ourselves, and we see that 9 out of 10 things which at the moment upset us will shortly disappear. And it's just about being in the moment, being yourself, being true to yourself, and an authentic person, and realizing that if someone upsets you or something upsets you, that's already in the past, and that's not going to determine your life, your day, anything like that. You make more choices throughout the day. You have more time throughout the day, throughout life, to make better choices. And as soon as something that may have upset you, then make a choice next to make yourself happier, and enjoy the rest of the day. Don't dwell on it. It's already in the past. And I'm gonna skip out on the meditation for the day. We'll do the prayer for the day. So a couple, like 2 small, I guess, affirmations. And it says, I pray that I may have a calm and sane mind, which I think is very good for today's episode, talking about not only working out and nutrition, but mental health and just finding balance within the mind, body, and soul. And then I pray that I may look up, around, and away from myself. So I think that also goes good with the day, kind of like getting out of your head and looking up and being in the moment and enjoying where you're at that moment, and just, yeah, getting out of your head and being stuck in a space that you don't need to be in all the time. Any words from you guys?
Absolutely.
No, just thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's been fun.
Thanks for coming on, Peyton. Sorry if it was a little awkward because we haven't met actually in person or anything. I think it was good though. You're not the first guest we've had on here that one of us probably hasn't met. So it's usually just pretty chill, pretty cool. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, and definitely be looking forward to have you on again as long as you're down. Jordan, thanks for always being here.
Yep.
You know, without you, can't run the ship. I need you to
Damn
run
right.
this show, so I appreciate
We're in
you
this
being
together, my guy.
here. Facts.
And then, hey, Braeden, before we leave, we need to start doing this more often whenever we have guests. Miss Peyton, where can they hit you up on the socials for your training?
Shameless plug. Here we go. Instagram, I am PeytonCaterFit, and Facebook, I'm just Peyton Cater. That's about it. No TikTok.
If you have a logo, send it over to me. If not, I'll find something from your Instagram and add it. But yeah, her Insta handle will be on the overlay, and then if she sends me a logo, I'll put it on there. If not, like, I'll find something to put on there. But yeah, so you guys don't lose that. If you need any training advice, and I feel like, especially if you're a woman, but I know she takes on guy clients, that if you're struggling mind, body, soul, all that stuff, and you want to start somewhere, I feel like the gym could be a good place, and Peyton's a good person to get a hold of. So need any help with that, message Peyton and see what she's all about. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next
Are
week.
open.
Free falling like I'm skydiving, teacher and student, 2 worlds colliding. I love music, I don't abuse it. Take your crafts and you infuse them. Say you're normal, that's kinda weird. In deep thought, stroking my beard. Head of the table, saying my cheers. Ended up grateful for all the tears. Ready to grind for years. Been loving what's in the mirror.